Hey guys, welcome to Tuesday's tutorial. We're going to create this rustic concrete style wedding cake with gold leaf flecks. This was a cake needed for a photo shoot, so it's all dummies. It's a 4-inch top, 6-inch middle and 8-inch bottom. I have stacked them and stuck them together with chocolate. If you were creating this in cake, you could buttercream each cake first and then stack like you usually would, but I was short on time to get it done and found this the quickest way. You'll need a base colour of pale grey buttercream. This is just a standard recipe of 1 part butter to 2 parts icing sugar. And I added a tiny bit of black gel colour. This was created during a very hot week and I didn't want it to melt on the shoot, so you can add royal icing sugar to the mixture to help it set a bit firmer. Now whack that buttercream on however you like. Just pile it all on as we're going to scrape it back off. Now grab a scraper. It can be any you like. I have this metal one. Just gently scrape around the sides to even it out a little. This is the best bit, it doesn't have to be smooth. We are looking for rough and textured, so don't obsess too much on getting that clean finish. Once that's done, add a tiny touch more black gel to your buttercream to make a darker shade. Add random blobs of this colour to the sides. Now go back round with your scraper to drag the colour into the base colour. Add some to the tops of the tiers too. Then repeat the steps again with an even darker grey. Don't forget to cover the board too. We don't like naked boards. Slide a knife around the board edge to clean it up. Next, grab a bowl and add in some small silver dragées. I used to pronounce this how it was spelt, draggies, but it's a bit more sophisticated than that. We also want to add a subtle sparkle and crystal texture, so this Wilton sanding sugar works great. There's no elegant way to do this, just grab handfuls and press them into the buttercream. It's totally random and organic. Any that fall onto the board, just press them in. Next, water down some black gel colour or paint in a bowl and grab a clean toothbrush, obviously a new one. I have a few of these for cake decorating. They're only about 24p for a pack of 2. Now feel free to wear a glove if you like, because we're going to flick the bristles with our finger and it will dye your fingernail black. You'll see what I mean for the rest of the video. Hold the brush near the surface of the cake and flick the bristles. It will launch little droplets of colour like speckles. This is just to add a subtle extra detail to the concrete effect. Next we're going to add flecks of gold leaf. I've found piping gel really good for this. Just dab blobs of piping gel all over the cake where you want flecks of colour. Next, take some gold leaf. As you can see, this was a spare piece I have previously used. These are just the transfer sheets, meaning the leaf is on the square paper, allowing me to handle it easily and it not slide off. You can get loose leaf gold and silver, but you can only imagine how difficult those are to handle. Press the transfer paper onto the piping gel and peel back. The gold will stick to the gel and create rustic shaped patches. Now this is where the tutorial gets odd. I'm making wired flowers. Those that know me or my work know I don't do flowers. But my friend Mish invited me on a flower making day as she's thinking about running classes. I have to apologise to her because as I came to film this part I'd forgotten everything she said. The cake was actually supposed to have dried flowers at the shoot, but the delivering logistics didn't work out, so I had to quickly whip up some dead dry looking flowers, which is handy really because all my flowers pretty much look half dead anyway. So don't look to me for flower making, I'm just going to quickly walk through what I did. I suggest booking a class with Mish when she's up and running because there's nothing she doesn't know about flowers, cutters and paste. Okay, so I've got some white flower paste and I'm rolling out a small ball over the medium-sized hole on my flower pad. Once your paste is big enough for your flower cutter, flip it off the pad. Now I'm just making random dead flowers, so I grabbed this 5-petal pointed cutter and placed it over the raised lump. Cut out the shape and clean up the edges. Then put the lump back in the hole to thin out the edges with the ball tool. Next, take a veining tool. It's a stick with ridges on that was kindly gifted to me by Mish, as I certainly didn't own any flower making stuff. Roll the stick across each petal to create texture. Next, take a wire. I don't know what size it is, I think it was either a 26 or 24, and create a tiny loop in the end with the cutest mini pliers that you own. Push the wire into the centre of the flower and down through the lump of paste. Pull the wire down so that the loop is just slightly showing and pinch the lump around the wire to adhere it. We are going to hang them upside down so the petals cup inwards. Just loop the wire over and hang it on something until it's dry. I opted for my kitchen cupboard handles. Don't make them all the same, scrunch some of the petals at the base to make new shapes and forms. I also created a few 4-petal versions with a hydrangea cutter. You'll need to make quite a few. I also made some berries with balls of paste and inserted the hooked wire down into the centre. Once your flowers are dried and set, you can dust them. I used rainbow dusts, Moroccan velvet and ginger glow. Told you that toothbrush would stain your nails. It's not dirt, honest. I'm dusting the 4-petal flowers with ginger glow and a dry brush. Then, to add depth, I'm brushing the centres and underneath with brown powder. For the 5-petal flowers, I'm using Moroccan velvet and brown in the centres again. To create some chunky twigs, take some wires and some cling film. Start wrapping the film around the wire. It doesn't need to be neat and uniformed, allow it to be thicker in some places than others, just like real twigs. Next, take some brown floral tape and tape over the top of the film. Pull it tight, again not attempting to even it out, just let the lumps and bumps be what they're going to be. Once you get to the end, squeeze the tape into a point. As the inside is wire, you can bend and twist them however you like. Make varying thicknesses by increasing or decreasing the amount of cling film you use. Now tape each flower stem and wire them together. Hold the flowers against the twig and tape up the stems, adding more flowers or twigs in as you move down. Make sure you don't use them all, you want to leave some loose to fill in the gaps. Create another bunch with the burgundy flowers. If you're adding your flowers to a dummy, take a pair of pliers and violently shake with force as you try to get the branch through all the polystyrene. Of course you could make life easier and pre-make a hole with a screwdriver and easily slide them in, but who has time for that, right? Bend all your twigs and flowers into shape before struggling with your second flower spray. Now use some loose twigs and flowers to complete the bunch. Oh look, I gave in and pre-poked holes with a cocktail stick. Add some more gold leaf to bare areas because why not? And you're done, a rustic concrete style cake with dead flowers and twigs. This went to Holmes Mill for a photo shoot and looked great with the rustic walls. Photo is courtesy of the fabulous Kerry Woods Photography. Hope you enjoyed my epic flower making skills. Sorry Mish. Bye guys.